Be making basics.
What's going on YouTube? Beat Making Basics back again with another dope video. If you're new to my channel, please do me a favor. Go ahead and subscribe as well as give me a thumbs up because we're coming back to back with bangers, okay? Now today's video, we're going to be covering the quickest way to make a GRISELDA type beat in Logic Pro 10, okay? Now this is also could be called the quickest way to make a boom bap type beat. So if you like boom bap type beats, real hip hop, authentic hip hop, this is going to be the video for you, okay? So we're going to talk about the quickest way to do it. Now, the first thing first, you're going to need a sample, okay? For any type of a boom bap or a GRISELDA type beat, it has to be a dope sample. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a software instrument track. All right, click there. And then you also want to go ahead and select the quick sampler, which is about midway through. I put it on stereo and push create. After that, you're going to need some type of sample. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can get some samples. We have samples right here within Logic you can choose from. So you can go over here by genre. You can go hip hop down here. We have a bunch of stuff we can choose from here. Sometimes this could be a little bit daunting and a little bit of a process. Look at all these sounds right here, and you don't know for sure if these are going to work. Sometimes you might have to really doctor these sounds up. I would say the quickest way would probably be to go ahead and go over here to Splice, okay? And I know that a lot of people have their feelings about Splice. Maybe you should use this, maybe you shouldn't. But these are royalty-free sounds. So what you could do is come over here and go to the search bar on Splice and just say boom bap, okay? You just type that in, and then what you're gonna do now is go over here and see where it says tags. You're gonna look for either music or melody, okay? So we can click on either one of those, and I don't see melody over here. Let's see here. Anyway, it's all good. We can just do music. It's all good. So we're gonna chop the sample up anyway. So let's just check out some of these samples. Alright, bet. So now we have something that inspires us. Let's go ahead and use one of our credits and go ahead and use this sample. This is a hard sample. So we're going to take this. I'm just going to click on this and drag it right onto the quick sampler. Literally, you can drag and drop any type of sound or sample just like that into this quick sampler. So now that we have that going, the next step is to go ahead and click this guy where you see follow tempo right here. This should lock it in place and match up the BPM, okay? It started off at 90 BPM. It should be now at 137. I'm gonna push my MIDI keyboard and see if it's linked. All right, cool. So sometimes, the sample won't link or sync with Logic within this quick sampler. That's no problem. What you want to do is just find the key that you want the sample to be in, and then we're going to lay it down and we'll adjust the sample from there. All right, so I like that key right there. I'll put a little musical typing too, just so you can see what I got going. All right, bet. So we have our sample here. Next thing I want to do is we're going to change this from MIDI to audio. If you right click on this and go bounce in place, you can give it a name here if you want, but I'm just going to just click on that like that. Now this is turned into audio, okay? And now what I'm going to do now is go to the very end of that sample, to the very end point right there, push Command T, get rid of that. And now I can stretch this sample out. So that's probably what I'm gonna go ahead and do. We'll just click this guy right here. This is our flex tool. And if you just stretch them out to that bars right there, it should link it up. So let's just push our metronome and see how it links up. Now, I don't quite like how that sounded, so what I'll do instead is I'm going to speed it up like that. And we can always come over here and change the BPM as well. And let's see how that sounds now. Now that it's properly synced up, I can now take this and resample it. So just basically take this sample and drag it back into this gray area and put it back into the quick sampler like that. Now, why would I want to do those things is this: sometimes in Logic, you know, it doesn't sync all the time, but this is the way to get around it. And then I can come over here and then again play in different octaves, and it'll be locked down and synced up. All right, cool. So let's lay down two different patterns, a high pattern and a low pattern. We'll do the low pattern first, and then I'll lay down the high pattern. All right. Double click that. We're gonna highlight it, Command A, quantize, and then what I'll do is literally just do Command D. That's gonna double this up. If I hold down Option and drag that down, that makes a copy, and then I can go back in here and raise the octave. All right, bet. So that's our first step, is to get that sample together. All right, so we got the sample together. What we can do actually is delete all the rest of this stuff now that we have the samples. And if I wanted to, I actually can go ahead and bounce this in place as well. And I can say sample 1. And then I can bounce this one in place, right click, and say sample 2. And then we could get rid of this MIDI stuff. And all right, bet. So now we have our samples. Next thing to do is go ahead and get your drums. Pretty simple. We're going to start off with a software instrument track, and we're actually going to go back to Splice, and we're going to look up for some boom bap drums. So we already have the option boom bap right here. So what I'll do now is we're going to look for our different drums. So we can do drums as a whole, which will be a loop, but I'm going to try to come up with something from scratch. So let's just look up like your kick or a snare. Let's start with snares. I already actually have some dope stuff saved here. And I'm actually going to use some of the stuff we already have. All right, so we'll start off with this one. I'm dragging it in here. And I'm just going to, you know, basically place the snare naturally where it would come in a track. You can come over here. We'll scroll down to like 1/8 swing A, and then that's going to be our snare pattern here. I think I misspelled that. All right, cool. From here, let's just keep on going. We might also have to add another like little snare patterns here and there in between that, but we'll do that later. I'm gonna go ahead and I just doubled it, pushing Command D, and I'm gonna open up this track, and I can just put a new instrument in here. Go back to Splice, and instead of snares, now we'll go ahead and do kicks. Wherever kicks are, boom. Drag that one in. Now we got a kick drum. And the key thing to keep in mind with a boom bap beat is really going to be to keep it simple. You don't have to come up with like a real crazy pattern. It could be. And actually, as I'm listening to this is a little bit too fast. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and quantize it here. And as you can see, some of the notes have disappeared. We did this quantization settings need to be lifted up to 1/16. And I'm going to slow this down. It's a little bit too fast for me, to be honest with y'all. So I don't know why this didn't actually change here, to be honest with you. But it's all good. All right, we're actually almost halfway. Well, actually, I'll say a little bit more than halfway done now. So next thing I would do here is take a break on the drums. We can name this a kick. All right. And then what I'll do here is I'll come back to this sample and we can doctor this up, right? So like first things first, I can come over here and put like a vinyl plugin on here. There's a lot of different vinyl plugins that you could use, but iZotope has a free one. So if you go to iZotope.com, you should be able to download this free vinyl plugin right here. You can do a lot of cool things with it. So I'm going to take off the wear and tear off it, turn this dust down, and just turn the warp up some. Let's check it out. So now we have that there. I'm going to turn on my mixer window. And I'm going to hold down Option and drag this vinyl plugin right over to the first, this other sample as well. From here, another thing that we can also do is maybe use another plugin like Murder Melodies or some of these other plugins that, you know, might have the shape to sound some more. I'm going to go ahead and turn Murder Melodies on and see what we can come up with. They have a lot of different presets, like default presets. I'm going to go ahead and click backwards a couple. And then this is actually would be good for like a verse. And so what you could do is you can put a plug-in on here, and that might sound good for a verse, and a plug-in might sound good for the hook or something. So I'll just double this up, and we're going to just take this pattern and take it down here. I'll mute this out, and then we'll go ahead and change this this plug-in out. We'll just call this Zelda. Okay, boom. This beat's gonna be called Zelda. Also, make sure you're saving along the way. Now, we have these 3 different melody patterns here. Pretty much, one's gonna be for like the hook. Another one could be like for the verses. We can interchange it. So that's done. Now let's go ahead and come back to the drums. We'll finish this beat up by adding some hi-hats and maybe a cymbal or something like that. So we're going to go ahead and do a software instrument track again. We're going to get a hi-hat, and this hi-hat's going to just kind of carry this beat a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to splice, and instead of kicks, we'll just go look for hats. So a lot of times they pull right up like that, and I got some hats already. Start with something like that. And just kind of do like this off swing on it. Like, can't go wrong with having like that off swing on your hi-hat with a Griselda or boom bap beat. So and what you could do too is after you quantize it, you can put a little more swing on it, and it actually can help it a little bit. So I can turn it up like that, and let's see what it sounds like. And actually, that little double tap, I don't like that, so we'll get rid of that. And what would a boom bap beat be without that that ultimate open hi-hat sound? So let's go ahead and bring something like that in. You have to have this open hi-hat sound come in somewhere. Let's see if I have it. See, that's an open hi-hat. That could work. Let's see if it sounds good here. And that sounded pretty on point. One thing I will do though is we'll play around with maybe getting a different sound, a different open hi-hat. Those kind of sounded a little iffy, if you will. So I can continue to look through here. I can actually click on this. This is where we got it, and I can look for open. I can just say open right here, and now it should pull up all the open hi-hats. And guess what? This kit only has that. So I can put open right here as well, and it'll pull up all the open hi-hats. So I kind of like this one. Let's do this one instead. Let's check out how it sounds with the beat. Cool. So the beat's almost done. I would say one of the last elements that I would definitely make sure you put is some type of dope bass line. I know you hear that bass line in there, but we can actually do some other accents and different things like that to make this beat complete. So what I'll do is I'll create another software instrument track. You can use any like Soundbank, Alchemy. They have some good basses in there if you searched. They have some actually good default basses. So just for this tutorial, I'll go ahead and use a default bass. And what we'll do is go over here to the top left to our sounds. I'll go to bass, and then we have a bunch of different basses we can pick from. Muted bass, pick bass. A lot of times those are pretty good. Let's try it out. All right, cool. So let's see what we can come up with. Cool. So if you want to sound out like the root note, like that first down note, and some other notes in there, and once you find at least one or two notes, you can kind of play around with the melody on it. And it already has a bass. Like, say if you're kind of clashing with the bass, you can always come over here to the EQ and just filter out a little of the basses. The bass. So you can come over here and make your own bass line now. And this is just doing a different bass line, could just make it a little bit more original. So I'll do that. Let's go ahead and go. And I'm gonna come over here and just take some of those hi-hats out. Did too much. Every other one I'm gonna take out. Delete. And now we have something that does not sound too busy. We're ready to go here. Let's check it out. Finished version. And we can actually add one more instrument, and I would actually add like a string instrument, some type of string where we can just validate like a hook, okay? Because you can actually add horns and stuff to this too. We can use violins as well. So we'll lay that down as well. All right, bet. So we're gonna take this, quantize it, and we'll do also something called force legato. Or just right clicked on it, took all the notes to the very end of the next. Oh, that's nasty. That's nasty. Okay, anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. If you are new, again, make sure that you subscribe. And if you have questions, you can leave in the comment section below. And last but not least, make sure you go to my site, beatmakingbasics.com. Look, I got courses on there that have hours and hours of content that you can download. And once you download, it'll be on your computer. So you don't have to have like some type of internet connection or some type of password or any of that type of stuff after you download the courses. Literally, each course has about an hour to 5 hours of content in it. Go check out those courses. We also have loop kits that you can use. They are royalty free. That means that you can, use them in your productions, lease the beats, sell the beats. I'm not going to come back and try to find you if you use the, the music in the loop packs, okay? We also have a drum pack on there, and we have our 100K giveaway that we're doing on this channel. So on our journey to 100,000 subscribers, we're going to be giving away some dope prizes at different milestones. First milestone is at 10,000 subscribers. We're going to be giving away a brand new pair of like real good quality studio headphones. I'm going to go buy those headphones very, very soon. So make sure you get your tickets. All you got to do to enter to win is be subscribed and go ahead and grab a $5 ticket. Okay. It's a bundle pack that you have to get from my site. And everybody who gets that is actually going to be entered to win the prizes every month. So, or every milestone. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. We're out.